Okay. It's Authentic Human Being Show, live from Springfield, Oregon. All right, let's see if we can wrap this up and have this be the last one. So, there we are on the beach. I'm steaming, my clothes are steaming. I'm pretty much dry, I feel warm. It's time to get out of there, time to get home. We had no blankets, no way to stay on the beach. So, okay, let's go. And right away, James Taylor can't see. You know, it's dark, pitch black. And we've got, she's a mile to go on this trail. And I said, I can see perfectly fine. Hold my hand, James. So James took my hand, and then he took his hand. And I just led everybody. I could see in the dark. I could see, it's being led by a force, whatever. I was blown away. I was in charge. I took charge. I had some permission, some divine, permission to take charge. The blind, leading the blind. But I could see. I once was blind, but now I see. So we got to the car, and we headed home. Got home, and immediately I took over the bedroom, one of the bedrooms. I just went in there and shut the door. And this is when it got hard, very hard. Because we're back in what looked like realities, things you could identify with it. And I wasn't connected to any of this stuff anymore, right? I just wasn't. And I started sending out psychic waves to connect with my family, and I couldn't make these connections. They had been broken. The golden bowl, the thread had been broken. And they didn't know me. It was very scary. I felt good. I felt very powerful. And that was scary. But I didn't have any connections with the things that we hold on to, the illusions. We hold on to them, and they're not comfortable. They're not strong bonds, and we spend a lot of time in an illusory state. Well, the illusion was gone. I didn't have any buffer between the truth and the state of divine being. So 2 days went by. And I didn't eat, I didn't go to the bathroom, didn't drink any water. And I'm trying to ground. Also I hear the room filled with people. There's a couple voices, and there's 3 more voices, and there's 5, I can hear 5 or 6 people in James Taylor's living room there. And also a little knock on the door. And after knock, Keith cracks the door open, and it's like, excuse me, behind us, Can I come in? And he comes over and he sits on the bed. He looks at me. And he says, you've got to take this to come back. He's holding me another tab of LSD. I said, yeah, I took it. And went back out. And about another half hour, I come out. I said, I can't stay in here, I'll die. And I was now able to ground through the dog of the hair that bit me, you know. And I was there, I was back at the beach, the exalted state. And I walked into the living room, and there's 10 people in there. I don't know any of them. I've seen these faces, and they're all looking at me. You know? And there's this chair, big, high-back burgundy chair, ornate, like something you'd see in a castle or something. And that was reserved for me. So I sat in this chair, and pretty intense. And I was all of a sudden in these robes, ermine, diamonds, rubies. I'm sure there was some kind of crown on my head. And this young woman, who turned to be Tim Scully's sister, she had blonde hair and blue eyes, and she worked at the wine school, Berkeley Wine School. She approached me, and she knelt. She took my hand. And she said, "What do you want?" I said, "I'm thirsty. I'd like some water, please." And she went into the kitchen. I was looking at people, making contact with people there. She comes back. She's got a silver tray full of goblets. She has me take the first one. Crystal goblets. James had some nice antiques in his house. So everybody had a goblet, and they were waiting for a toast from me. Waiting for me to speak. And I raised the goblet, and I said, "With this drink of water that I take, it flows through my system. It washes the LSD that's in my system down into my urinary tract, and now I'm going to go up and piss it into a toilet and flush it, and it's going to go into the ocean. So you can't play with it anymore. Game over." I got up, walked out. Came back. Most of the people were gone. You know, this isn't what they didn't want to hear this. You know, they were hearing that I might be the acid Messiah, and this came about because these were members of the great Brotherhood of Eternal Love, and they were with Augustus Stanley Owsley on Muir Beach when he flipped out. Kankisi dosed him real good, and Owsley just had a flip out, you know, and they were wondering if my flip out was related to Owsley's flip out. And this, you can find this electric Kool-Aid acid test on page 147. So his flip out and my flip out were, I think, 3 weeks apart or less. So my patron had been there, Bob. He had me throw the I Ching as I'm talking to these people. I said more. I don't remember what I said. I said what I wanted to say. I remember that. But he had me throw the I Ching, these coins, 6 times, pennies. And I got the army, you know, about, you know, this leader coming at a time to lead the, you know, and I got it. You know, I already knew what they wanted. They wanted, you know, the hippie messiah, you know, to lead the hippies in a war, you know, against the government, you know. You know, and I already seen the war to end all wars, the beat. I know what happens when people die. They get hurt, shot, maimed. So no thanks. Go look somewhere else for your hippie army general messiah to lead you, into battle, So then these two guys come in. There was another roommate, Ron Dorfman, in there. And it's Bob's brother, Tim. And they go in the kitchen, and they got a suitcase of LSD. They're bagging that. They got the bags and stuff. And Tim's about ready to hop a jet for England. I think I was on my way to the bathroom again or something, And I watched what they're doing, and I said, you're going to get busted. What do you mean get busted? I said, the cops are right there, outside. See, when I was talking, I saw these men in trench coats climbing the telephone pole out there, and they, were eavesdropping, and they're trying to snake a jack, into my belly button so they can read it. Is this the guy, Okay, just put a jack there in his belly button. Like a biblical cord, going to the CIA and FBI. They were out in the, but they actually were not there on the poles. They were on. I mean, everybody got busted. It wasn't me. Big time bust came. So, the next day, actually, it was no next day. We're up all night. And about 6:30 in the morning, me and Keith are just up there thinking, man, did we fucking blow it? We've come down, and it's just, like we're looking, man, what the fuck do we do now, What the hell happened, See? And all of a sudden, Bob comes in. And he's worked at the nuclear physics lab. He's working actually youngest head of department, you see, Berkeley. And he sits down. He looks at me. He says, what do you want? What are you going to do? What do you want? I go, oh, shit. Because I was in this void of nothingness, There was the old lady out there sweeping the broom. I want to paint. I want to be an artist again. He says, you used to be an artist? I said, yes. Okay, let's go buy some art supplies. There it is. That's the beginning of the whole Rosamond artistic legacy. We went up to Berkeley. That's where Tim was working as a manager of an art supply store. We bought $300 worth of art supplies. He says, if you need more, just let me know. So another month, from there, James finds this big Victorian house in West Oakland, all black neighborhood. There's something like 12 bedrooms in there. And he invites the loading zone to come live with us. They were at the first acid test at Longshoremen's Hall in '65. And I get the bedroom next to the sound room. Actually, that's where I started. I had a beautiful ornate fireplace, with some beautiful ported tiles around it. And that's when this visitation came, the first many. And he was from India. He was a guru. He was just in a loincloth and, grayish bald hair on top, and, he says, who are you? He's not there in the room, but he is in the room. I said, I'm nobody. Well, what are you doing on this plane of consciousness? I says, I don't know. You tell me. And he says, well, I want you to try meditating. So I got a lotus position on my bed. And then I got moved upstairs in the attic with some other people that weren't, the band began to take over the house there. But anyway, before that, you know, there would be, I'd be painting on these big